Right, folks, growing and healing simultaneously is aimed at promoting mental health and self-reflection. And here to tell us more is author and nursing student Trishorna McFarlane. Trish, good morning. Welcome. You good?
Morning. I am good.
Good to see you. Some people come here, and because they're doing the interview, they get a little nervous, and I can accept that. You never nervous when you decide, say you want to write a book, you never nervous and say...
No, I wasn't nervous at that point, but I'm definitely nervous now.
Well, you should be, but why you wanted to write the book? I said what it deals with, but why you wanted to write the book?
All right, so I wanted to write the book because I found that certain topics were under-discussed among a lot of people. I'm not sure if it was because of social norms or the way that we're cultured, but I found that certain things we just don't talk about, and I wanted to give those things a voice.
Yeah.
So
the things that you talk about, you went through any of them? You went through all of them? You went through some of them?
Not necessarily. I went through some of them. Some came from conversations and stuff like that, but all of them were either personal or with my friends or family through discussion.
You wanted to write it before you decided to become a nurse, or no?
All right, so my mother, yes, my mother always told me that, you know, one day you should write a book, and that, I think, propelled me, but I've always been writing for a very long time. I've always been journaling. It was my outlet.
What is the first book?
Yes, this is my first book.
You said journaling because on what she has done, she goes like from day 1 to day 100, almost like a chapter. So it's day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way to day 100. And you kind of say different things, and I want to ask you about a couple of them. And I will start with day 1. In day 1, you said in the middle of day 1, and I agree, I accept that we are flawed because it's only the Heavenly Father perfect. I accept that, but you said we are flawed for a reason. Why you say that?
All right, so I was diagnosed with a chronic illness about 6 years ago, and I found it hard to accept until I realized that it increased my sensitivity to a lot of things, and it made me more sensitive to even others who were struggling with invisible illnesses per se. It could have been mental health issues. For me, it was physical, but it was still invisible, and it definitely increased my sensitivity. And I found that to be a blessing, because so many times people are going through stuff and nobody understands, nobody sees it. So I felt, you know, inclined to.
Yeah. Chronic is a serious word, you know.
It is.
You all right now?
I am not, but mentally I am much better. I'm accepting it. I've accepted it, so.
Oh, give thanks.
Yes.
Day 5, the hardest question ever. Who am I? Why is that hard? Let me know who me and Neville.
I am Neville. Who is Neville?
Yeah, but that's not, I know what you mean.
What kind of place do you take up on earth? What do you give to others? What do you have to offer? What are your beliefs, your morals, that type of stuff?
How difficult was that for you to kind of figure? Are you figure out who you are yet?
I am still figuring it out every day. That's the thing about it. But we have to be intentional about it.
And what does that mean when you say you have to be intentional about it?
You have to get up every day and try to figure out who you are, who you want to be. Circumstances are happening around you. What are you going to make of it?
So far, you like who you are?
I do.
Oh, fantastic. Day 11, your own axiom defines you. I think that word means principle, but what do you mean by that?
All right, so I said your own axiom defines you. Don't be provoked by the theorem of others. And I said that because it is important to take into consideration what others think of you, because sometimes that helps you to really, you know, work on certain stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're only influenced by that, then who are you really? Because so many different opinions around you. So you have to find some stance for yourself in order to really say.
Interesting. I'm kind of glad you didn't nervous. I suppose you never that chat down the whole place. You still nervous?
Very.
Go and chat then. Now, day 34, we focus on our physical appearance. What's wrong with that?
Well, I find that, is the word vain?
Yeah.
Vain. So I find that a lot of times we're too concerned about that solely. It is important the way you carry yourself. It is the first thing people see. But I also think that we need to pay more attention to who we are inside, you know?
Okay.
How we treat others.
But you still, as you said, it's still important to how you look, right?
Definitely.
And sometimes that make people
come to you in the first place.
Thank you.
Right.
The headline on this one just says, what makes the difference? And you start by saying, I often wonder how ordinary people achieve great things in spite of adversity, held back by limitations unexpectedly, discouraged by mistakes made daily. How can one overcome that to achieve great things? How?
I am still figuring it out, but as I said in the book, one of the major things for me is belief. I believe that belief can really propel you far away. In so many different ways. I mean, the term is ambiguous, but at the end of the day, belief is important, whether it's belief in God that you're here for a purpose, or belief that you can achieve something, if it's self-belief or God belief. But something makes that difference because there are great people out there.
Yeah, man.
So,
man. And you are one, by the way.
Thank you.
Day 59, stay true to you. Don't we always?
I don't think so. I think that sometimes we're influenced by so many things around us that make us scared to tap into certain things. And it's hard to stay true to yourself. I mean, even in school, for example, I am a nursing student, and sometimes it's hard to really be myself. And sometimes I have to really find back form and stay true to me. Who am I, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Day 81, your life as it's meant to be. No one know what my life was meant to be in the first place.
So we're going to piggyback back off chronic illness. I had a hard time accepting it, as I said, and I just had to find something inside to say, listen, this is what is meant to happen to me. Chronic illness is a blessing in disguise. So sometimes some things happen to you, or you're late for work, but probably you missed an accident. You never know. So your life is happening exactly how it's meant to be, I believe.
Day 94, you say wound care. But you not only say wound care, because you go to wound care 1, wound care 2, wound care 3. Why? What's that about?
All right, so wound care, nursing student, I guess a little nursing came out there. So in nursing, you have different steps. You have to do different things in order to ensure that a wound is healing correctly. So that's what I touched off. I touched assessment, assessing the wound. You know, you need to make sure that this wound requires a certain type of attention. Every wound is different. Every wound requires a different type of care. So I say that because when you get a proper assessment of the wound, you move on and ensure that you're in the proper environment. You know the popular saying, you can't heal in a place where you got sick. So that is another point.
Well, actually, it's the first I hear that you can't heal.
It is the first, never?
It's the first I hear you can't heal in the place where you got sick.
Okay.
Which is quite profound.
Yes.
I'm holding up the book because you said journal earlier, and it's almost like you have a little space for a journal.
Right.
So what you want people to read over here and then do what over here?
Reflect. I think reflection is important, awareness and acceptance. And I had a friend that said she was afraid to read the book because she was scared of the reflection part. It's hard to accept certain things, and I want people to do that. I want people to talk about stuff, how stuff made them feel, and how they are, you know, moving forward from those stuff.
Impressed with your finished product?
I am not going to lie, I love it.
Final year student?
It's final year, a couple months to go.
You're going around leave us and go out and go earn plenty of money too?
I am not sure. Wherever the Lord leads.
Yeah, where can we get the book?
All right, so it's available on Amazon now. People can purchase it also directly from me, and I am trying to make some way for it to be available in Fontana soon.
Yeah, I like it. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much.
You still nervous?
No, I'm not anymore.
There you go. Chat plenty, see? I don't think she's nervous. She's an author. She's a nursing student, final year. A couple more months, so we have to call her Nurse McFarlane, Trishorna McFarlane. And the book is called Growing and Healing Simultaneously. Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
We'll soon come. More after this.